What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Masters Fantasy Show, brought to you by MastersFantasyFootballLeagues.com. My name's Jonathan, the commissioner here at Masters Fantasy Leagues. Man, the season's here, going into week 4. Just got done with another wonderful drafting season. A quick shout out I wanted to give to the Masters Summer crew, Doc, Ryan, Jared, Razor. Man, you guys kicked you know what. As always, another awesome summer here at Masters. 15 years now we've been doing this. Also, a quick shout out to the Masters customers. Couldn't do it without you guys. You guys are unique. Definitely like a dysfunctional bunch, man, that creates like a Masters family here. It's always a lot of fun, man, running these dynasty leagues, redraft leagues, man. Like I said, 15 years. I mean, tens of thousands of leagues we've done now. Right before we jump into today's show, something funny that stuck out over the summer, I wanted to pass along. I thought it was kind of a funny story. In the Masters headquarters, man, we always try to have some fun over the summer. Last year we did the one chip challenge with Razor. Man, he made $40. I don't think that it was worth the $40 when it was all said and done. But one of the funnier things that happened this year, I keep all the drafts up, my numbers at the top to help you guys. If, you lose your internet connection, something goes wrong, you just need a little bit of help. Something else that makes us unique too. But, a little bit about how that works. Like, through round 2, we help you guys. So I have all the drafts on my main screen. After round 2, I put them on my secondary screen. I put them in order, the 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. That way, when someone calls, I can hurry up and figure out which league it is, by what round, who you're picking. There's just, little techniques I use to be quick with it. So a guy calls and he's like, Commish, I'm trying to pick Jamar Chase. Like, something's not working. So immediately it's Jamar Chase. I look at the drafts that are, happening right now. It's like 9:30. I'm like, I don't see him. I'm like, which draft is that, sir? I can't find it. And, he's like, well, what do you mean? I'm looking at the top of the page. So he reads the league ID. So, I'm looking. I scan over to my other page and I find one, like, a draft that had been going on for like an hour. And I hop in there and I look and it's like round 7. And I was like, my man, refresh, he's gone. Jamar Chase was picked at the 1.7. He's like, oh, okay. He gets off the phone, it's no problem. So I'm like sitting there thinking for a second. I'm like, wait a minute, like, and then I realized like I had known the guy. The guy'd been in leagues for a while, and I mean, guy think he knows what he's doing, and for the most part, I'm just like, man, like how did he think that he was still there in round 7? And then I started thinking, I'm like scratching my head, and like who in the heck was he picking like in the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th round? It's like, Jamar Chase is on the board. It's the 5th round. I could take him here, but you know what? I'm going to take a stab on Juju. And then, Clyde Edwards in the 6th. And then finally in the 7th, you know what? I'll take Jamar Chase. I just thought it was funny. I got a good laugh out of it, man. Guy probably just, maybe thought he got a deal. Might have been drinking and drafting. You know who you are, man. That was some funny stuff, man. But going to jump into today's show. Dynasty trade spotlight time. And I got a couple redraft trades for you guys too. It's trading season, week 4. I just wanted to give you a little bit of idea of what's going on out there. Let's get it, guys. First trade popping up on your screen. We got Alvin Kamara and Jerry Judy for James Conner and Debo Samuel. An interesting trade. All these guys I've seen quite a bit early in the season. I think all 4 guys so far have been disappointing. When I look at this trade, I'm not sure who's going to be the winner. I do think one thing I like about this trade is that on the Debo Samuel side is we've seen what Debo Samuel and Jimmy Garoppolo can do together. We've seen what James Conner can do in that Arizona offense. On the other side, we just haven't seen what Alvin Kamara can do without Sean Payton, Jameis Winston at the helm, maybe Andy Dalton now. A lot of guys in the fantasy community even looking at Taysom Hill to get some starts. I don't think any of those things are going to help Alvin Kamara out. Let's be honest, man. Jerry Judy just unable to stay healthy. We haven't seen it between him and Russell yet. yet. Although early in the season, man, I'm going to lean on the Debo and Connor side currently. Next trade we got popping up here on your screen. Interesting trade. Another guy I've seen a ton of early in this season. Curtis Samuel for Brandon Ayuk. Pretty straight up trade. I do know one guy was mostly on the waiver wire at the beginning of the season. The other guy, has been rostered, former first round pick Brandon Ayuk. I think what I want to point out in this trade is why you never sleep on the waiver wire. Curtis Samuel, I mean, a guy that I recommend and loved last year, showing what he can do, showing his versatility. I mean, the guy's got a little Debo Samuel in him, and I really like that about Curtis Samuel. And even if you don't like him, a guy you could have picked up off the waiver wire, got a second round pick for. He has another couple good games, 25 years old. You might just be able to get a first out of him. That's why I should always be active on the waiver wire. Next trade popping up, another interesting one. We got Calvin Ridley and a first for Devontae Smith, a 2 and a 3. I'll be honest, man. After week one, no targets, 0 points for Devontae Smith. I was concerned, man. I really was starting to think this guy's not worth a first round pick anymore. I'm not going to be able to get a first round pick out of him. Then all of a sudden, man, week 2, week 3, he just absolutely turns it on. He's been on fire the last couple weeks. Loving me some Devontae Smith right now. I also think sneakily on the other side, Calvin Ridley, man, keep an eye out for Ridley. Bad news with the suspension. One thing I do like about it, he's not hurt, man. I mean, physically, he should be ready to go at the start of next season. Pretty sure he can pick where he wants to play too, which is going to be a big bonus in his value, I'd like to believe. And one thing I like about Ridley, every week that goes by, his value goes up just a little bit. Next trade popping up on your screen, another interesting one, man. CD Lamb straight up for Clyde Edwards Hilaire. Another two guys that I'll be honest, man, maybe two of the most traded guys we've had here early on this season. CD Lamb's been awfully disappointing. He did come back to life a little bit last week. Dak's hurt. Cooper Rush. Who knows, man? I mean, it's Dak's job. I feel pretty good about that. But man, there's a lot of talk. Cooper keeps winning. It's going to be interesting. All I'm saying is CD's Lamb situation is up in the air. Clyde Edwards Hilaire, man, a guy that was slipping all the way into, round 6, round 7 in some dynasty startups. The universal unanimous 1.1 just a couple years ago. He's came to life, man. He's looking good. He's scoring points weekly. A lot of people are going out to get Clyde Edwards Hilaire, 23 years old, man. That Kansas City offense, the hype is still there for Clyde Edwards Hilaire. I will caution just a little bit. He hasn't had a lot of touches. He's produced. He's been an every week starter, but it's been on minimal touches. I'd like to see him be a little more consistent in that offense. I'll take the Lamb side for now, but Clyde Edwards Hilaire closing that gap. Next trade popping up on your screen. We got DeAndre Swift, Hunter Henry for Damien Pierce, TJ Hawkinson, and 4 second-round picks. DeAndre Swift, I think, the number one piece in this trade. Still 23 years old, a ton of potential out of the backfield. Love him in PPR leagues. Taking a look at the other side, though. Hey, Damien Pierce, a nice rookie back. TJ Hawkinson, hopefully solidify the tight end position. Still holding out hope on TJ Hawkinson. Man, just like to see a little bit more production out of him. I think the interesting part about this trade, the 4 second-round picks, often looked over. It's tough to get those 2023 first right now. I think if you can angle for a bunch of seconds and put yourself in a good situation in next year's upcoming draft, a lot of rumors, man, that this draft's going to be 20 deep for fantasy starters. 4 seconds could probably wiggle your way into the end of the first round and still have 1 or 2 second round picks left over. Love the 4 seconds on this trade. Next trade popping up, we got Nick Chubb, Robert Tonyan for Patrick Mahomes, Njoku, a first and a third. Nick Chubb, man, looking like one of the better values in redraft leagues this year. Man, I was scratching my head every time I seen him slipping all the way into the third round in redraft leagues. He's come to life in Cleveland. Hopefully he can sustain that. Kareem Hunt, not an afterthought, but just not somebody you're too worried about right now when it comes to Chubb's production. On the other side, and the side I'd be leaning towards, I think this guy's getting great value out of Nick Chubb. Getting, Patrick Mahomes, you're set up, for the next 10 years at quarterback. The Joku's look pretty good. He'll be getting Watson soon. Add that 2023 first and third. Hopefully you can get one of these, stud running backs or stud wide receivers coming out next year. Set yourself up really nice with that side of the trade. And the final trade we're going to be doing today, Joe Burrow, Rashad Bateman, and 2 first-round picks for CD Lamb and Pitts. Blockbuster trade. I've been seeing, like I said, I've seen a lot of CD Lamb. I've actually seen a lot of Pitts too. He just came alive a little bit last week, but man, those first 2 weeks were brutal. Drake London scoring. I mean, that Atlanta offense is staying competitive. Pitts just not getting the ball a ton. Still believe in him. This kid's so young. 1,000-yard tight end as a rookie. He'll get it going sometime this season, and should be a safe, high ceiling tight end for almost the next 10 years. Love the other side of the trade too, though. Rashad Bateman, coming alive in those first 2 games. I think that trust between him and Lamar is only going to continue to grow. Joe Burrow, the Bengals haven't looked great. Not worried about Burrow at all. It just needs to adjust. I think teams are playing him, taking away the long ball. Joe's going to have to learn to check down. Take a little bit longer to get down the field. It'll come to him when it does. That'll open up some things for Chase. And also Mixon, man. Mixon is going to have to start being productive. That way they can start hitting Chase on some of these deep shots. But I think it's coming. Man, it's a tough trade. I'm going to lean toward the sides with 2 first, though. I love my first-round picks in 2023. Going to be some stud players coming out. So that's where I'm leaning towards on this one. Another great week of Dynasty trading here. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you could, hit the like and subscribe button. Love for you to come be a part of the Masters family. 15 years we've been doing this. Over 700 Dynasty leagues. We've never folded a single one. Kind of the OGs out here, man, of the fantasy websites, man. We've been doing it longer than most of them. So, hey, man, come join the Masters family. Thanks for watching, guys.